again, we're going to be talking with folks all morning long with Wiseman Ministries and the things that they do, the things that they've done to help out the various folks that we talk to, and that is what we are doing. Your donations, we'll be happy to take them at 903-655-1800. And again, non-perishable food items, we're accepting those as well for the Henderson Food Bank. Here, bring them by right here at KWRD Studios, 1101 Kilgore Drive. You can do that today, or you can do it all week long here at KWRD. Our Wiseman Ministries Radiothon, KWRD 1470 98.5. KWRD 1470 98.5. We continue on here this morning with our Wiseman Ministries Radiothon, and in the studio now, we turn our attention to Beverly and Jeff. I understand, and thanks for telling me this there a second ago, board members for Wiseman Ministries. Beverly, where would you like to even begin? How long have you been on the board, and why are you on the board?
Okay. Well, I want to say that it's all been, one little miracle after another, but this whole ministry and all the homes are built on faith, hope, and love. And we know that the greatest of these is love, and the more you pour out love, the more God blesses. And so this is my 11th year serving on the board and helping the women. I was a mother of 3 daughters, and so I'm loving being a mother of many, many more daughters now.
Yeah. 11 years ago, though, what even got you involved in it?
Well, we just saw that there was this huge need in our community, and we've had people from over 20-something counties in Texas, and no telling how many states, that have come to get help here. It was just, there was a man out of Kilgore, and he said that we need to go the highways and byways and take care of these people. And so once we started making a home for them, they came, and it's been such a blessing to be able to help so many people.
Okay, very good. And for you, more where the Longview area, Kilgore area, here in Henderson, Carthage. Which part of this did you get involved in first?
Initially, it was I'm from Henderson, so it was the Henderson area and all the churches who helped us get this thing going that many years ago. But it's the New London home was the first one we started with.
Okay, and you were involved with Son Shine Lighthouse.
Right, that's exactly right from the very beginning. So. We worked about 3 years to get the facility even ready to start opening it for girls because it was kind of in a rough, dilapidated condition.
Well, if you can, Jeff, I'll get to you. But believe me, I'll get to you. So hang with me here. All right, so Son Shine Lighthouse. When, because that's been around for years, and we've talked about that over the years here at the radio station about what the things that it has done for ladies out there. When did it start coming under the Wiseman umbrella, and what helped that all happen?
Okay, thank you for asking that. We came under the Wiseman umbrella about 2 years ago, and it's been the biggest blessing because you have to think of Wiseman as a big umbrella, and under that umbrella is a set of 3 men's homes and 3 women's homes, and the food bank, the Soapy King car wash, the Gifts of Grace, the farm, and the shavings industry.
Okay.
So we have all these entities under one big umbrella named Wiseman. So ours is the Wiseman Son Shine Lighthouse part now, but we have the other 2 women's homes that we're so excited about. And so as I transitioned into still serve on the Lighthouse board, and then I serve on the Wiseman Ministry board as well.
Okay. And with the Lighthouse, what do you got? Coffee truck out there? Some of those ladies, I think, are doing the car wash thing.
That's it. And they love it. They love having a purpose. They love getting up and having responsibilities. They love thinking about something else besides their issues and problems. They are loving getting to work. So some of them work at the food bank, and some of them work at the Gifts of Grace. We've got a small one already started here.
Oh, sure.
And the big one will be right your neighbor on this street. Right. And then some of them work at the car wash.
Okay.
So,
how do they get from point A to point B.
Transportation's a huge issue.
Always.
We have vans that help transport our people around, but cars are always needed. I mean, that's a huge issue, is getting their first car for them. And so we love for volunteers to come help us take them to and fro, too. That's a big, big thing for us.
Which is going to be a great transition right here. Hang with me. Stay with me on this. Jeff, if you only had a few parachutes, you could provide transportation, couldn't you?
Well,
Fly them around?
I could. It'd just be just a few at a time is what I'd be able to do.
It'd be a short trip,
It'd be
too.
a short trip.
Very good. Jeff is here with us as well. So a board member yourself.
Yes, sir, I am.
For how
Sure
long?
am. Since about 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
So relatively
Pretty
new
recently,
to
yeah.
all this.
Yeah, so I didn't know much about the Wiseman Ministry until just a few years ago.
And when you started finding out stuff, what'd you find?
So here's how it kind of started. Is I was teaching a class out at the Bradshaw State Jail for fathers on what God expects of a Christian husband and father. It's based on a book called The Doorkeeper. And so started that in 2017, and it was really going over well there, and had a lot of interest in it in the prison. And then COVID hit, at which point we could no longer go in. And that's about the same time that we started noticing a vehicle parked in front of the hotel here in town.
Okay.
And it said House of Disciples on it. And a lady in my Sunday school class mentioned it and said, Jeff, you may go down there and see if there might be an opportunity to teach there. And so I just parked and went in and met the program manager.
Because at that time, you're probably still thinking that building's an old hotel.
That's exactly right. I sure was.
Somewhere it had made a transition, and you kind of missed it.
And
we all missed it, for that matter.
Yeah, so just driving by and saw that something was going on.
Yeah.
And then my friend told me about it.
And what'd you find when you walked in?
So I walked in and I met the program manager at the time, and I explained to him about what we had done in the prison, and I showed him a copy of the book, and it's a 9-week class, and I said, hey, we're available if there's a need, something like that for these folks here. And he said, that would be great. We're looking for people that could volunteer to teach classes, because every evening from 6 to 7 o'clock, they have some sort of a Christian education program for the folks. And so they asked me, could you start on Thursday at 6 o'clock? And I said, absolutely, I sure can. Yeah. And so since 2020, on Thursday nights, I'm here with my partner, David Gray, and we teach.
And in addition to doing that, then found yourself on the board of the whole thing.
So I was sitting there. I was early one day to one of the classes, and I smelled something good cooking for dinner.
Uh-oh.
And the cook's name was Don. Don was from Colorado, and we were visiting. And I said, "Hey, Don, what's cooking, man?" He told me, he said, he told me what they were having that night. It was wonderful, delicious looking dinner. So he said, "You want to see the kitchen?" And I said, "Sure." So he takes me into the kitchen, and the kitchen I see is basically designed to heat up cinnamon rolls at the Holiday Inn Express.
Sure.
And here he has fixed this fantastic meal for these men. And as I'm walking in, I noticed food just stacked up on each side of the walls, high as it could go. And then I noticed one thing that catches my eye, and it's coffee, and it's Starbucks, and it's bag after bag after bag of Starbucks in there.
Yeah.
And so, the thought that came to my mind, how can they afford to have Starbucks coffee in here? And so I asked Don, I said, where do you get this food? And he said, Pops. I said, Pops? Who's that? He said, Pops Wiseman. It's Tim's dad. He handles getting the food. I'm like, I said, he's doing a darn good job, apparently. He said, oh, yeah. He goes, every Saturday he makes a run and gets food for us. And we have plenty. I said, oh, obviously, you have plenty. And so I texted Tim and I said, hey, I'd like to meet your dad sometime and see how in the world is he getting this food.
You met Pops and it was all over, huh?
Yeah. Well, so as an engineer, I'm a civil engineer.
Yeah.
I like to understand how things work.
Logistics are everything.
And so when I saw the statistics about this ministry, about them providing hundreds of thousands of meals north of 270,000 meals.
Right.
And Tim told me what the budgeted amount was for those meals. And I ran the calculation, and I said,
Didn't add up?
how in the world is that even possible?
Yeah.
So that's when I said, I need to meet Pops.
Okay. All right. Very good. And so you're teaching these classes. Still today, I take it these classes were part of the year program that they go through. Still teaching today?
That's right. Well, still teaching it, and so it's 9 weeks. We have, but different folks are coming in, and so we'll kind of make a vote sometimes on what would you guys like to do next. And some said, well, could we watch the Chosen series? I said, well, absolutely, we could do that. So I told my wife about it. She ordered the DVD series, and we watched, worked our way through all 4 seasons of The Chosen, as an example.
How different are the folks that you're helping out with the classes at Wiseman Ministries? How different are those guys compared to the prison ministry you were involved in?
We like to say they've all got a heart and need their hearts loved
Right.
and be loved back. And so we see lots of similarities in people in general. But the main thing is these are people who have not had, most of them have not had the kind of love and nurturing that it takes to just develop as a healthy human being.
Yeah.
So
I mean, are you still doing the prison ministry?
I do the prisons on we go to prison on Monday and then Thursday at the Wiseman.
Yeah.
So all guys are similar. I mean, I'm no better than anybody.
Sure.
And so I could see myself sitting in the same position as they were. Had I made a few different choices in my life, I could easily be there myself.
Sure.
So my heart goes out to them, and I'm just there to love on them and to encourage them and to share how much God loves them and do what I can to help.
Yeah, and I guess so. Whether they're at Bradshaw or at the Wiseman facility down here on 79, they're obviously at some point in time in their walk. You just got to help them get a little further down the road, right?
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so our women's, most of their classes are taught here above the Soapy King car wash on that upper floor.
There's a classroom up there?
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's where they have their classes in between their little. We have classes on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays in the mornings, and Thursday afternoons at the car wash where we come in and teach them during a block of time.
Okay.
So we need more volunteers for that, but
It's the cleanest classroom in town, right?
it's so clean. But there are some mud boots around as you're coming in there.
Oh.
And we're about to celebrate graduation this very weekend, this Sunday at 4 p.m. at Bar None. And if you've never been to one of our graduations, it is getting a glimpse of the amazing work in the lives of so many people. And I encourage anyone to stop by and just spend that hour with us at Bar None Sunday
And
afternoon.
I want to echo on that because I've gone to several of them.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing to see families there to celebrate a child who has gone through this program, a child who maybe they had given up all hope of, and the excitement and the encouragement that is received during this graduation ceremony is above and beyond
It
anything
is.
I've ever experienced. And I encourage you to go.
How many folks are graduating?
I know we have about 35 men. We'll have to ask Tim and Tabitha the exact numbers because it's really. Last year, let me see. I think we graduated about. Last year we had 48 men and 14 women graduate completely from the full year program, but we're going to have many more than that this year.
Okay.
So it's just an amazing experience to watch them accomplish something and then get recognized for that accomplishment. And that's what we claim, the Ephesians 3:20 from the Bible that says he is able to do immeasurably more than we ask or imagine according to his power that's working today within us.
Amen.
So.
The graduation ceremony, that's a big step, obviously, but like when Cody and Chris were in here just a few months ago and talking with them. So they graduate. As many have, they hang close to Wiseman Ministries and go to work in some form or fashion at the various locations. I guess for these folks that have gone through what they've gone through for the year and certainly before that got them to Wiseman's to begin with. Now all of a sudden they're back to a point where they need to make a decision, aren't they?
Yeah.
Are you going?
Well, it wouldn't be all of a sudden because we have various phases of the program.
Okay.
And so we trying to find their individual unique talents and abilities and their interest level. And so we start working with them when you graduate, what are your plans? So we're working them into some of them stay in the ministry and work for us. Others go out into the private sector and get fabulous jobs and make great fathers, great mothers, and great community members.
Oh, okay.
So we are working with them continually, and that's just one more step of the process is to be able to accomplish that. And some of them have not had that recognition in front of their family, and so it is amazing to see them please their families.
Sure. Okay, so those who don't necessarily stay with the ministry and know that they're going to go out and do other things, they already know that ahead of time.
Yes, they would be planning that. We
Okay.
have caseworkers who work with them to let them begin to plan where they'll be living and all the needs that have to be met in life. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So very good. It's not like cultural shock all of a sudden.
No,
that
no,
they,
no, no.
that they've got to do something.
That's right.
Okay, all right, very good. And I don't know, as board members, where do y'all see this going? Obviously, it seems to be growing.
It is absolutely growing, and
Bigger and better.
it's taken a lot for this organization to function and to run. It's as large as it is now, and I mean, my hat's off to Tim and Tabitha for what all they are involved in day to day. I recently went on a trip with them, and you know, Tim's phone hardly ever stops ringing.
Yeah.
He is, bless his heart, I mean, he hardly has any downtime.
Right.
And what a commitment and dedication he has to serving others. It's so apparent. But it takes a lot of folks, and Beverly and I are just a couple of folks that are doing our best to help.
And it does take a lot of finances. The
Sure.
work therapy that we do brings in income to help support the ministry and self-sustain, but we depend on the support of our local churches, all kinds of donors and little fundraisers and all that kind of thing from our community.
That's right. So monthly support is something, and so Jennifer and I are monthly supporters of the ministry. But here's something I did for Jennifer, my wife, for Mother's Day. You can purchase a fast pass for the car wash, and she can put it on her car, and she can go through that car wash as many times as she wants to get her car taken care of. And then
Yeah.
I pay a monthly contribution basically to the ministry, and so that's available to anyone if they want to monthly support the ministry and go by the Soapy King. They could see for themselves the ministry up close.
So if they want to make a financial donation to us today, they can, or they can go buy a pass at the car wash
Absolutely.
and
That's
do it that
exactly
way.
right.
Exactly right.
Hey, it all works.
Sure does.
Now if you can figure out a way to get out there to wash down your plane, you'll be all right.
Well, yeah,
That's
a
a
little-
whole other. That's a whole other story.
It's a little more challenging.
All right, very good. In talking with Tim and Tabitha earlier, even today they were telling me that it sounds like, and y'all may as board members be seeing this, to do the things they're doing, be it in Longview, be it in Carthage, be it here in Henderson, got to have some help and support from city council, city leaders who seem to be on board with a lot of the ideas and things that they're doing.
Yeah, I think maybe Tim said it earlier, but our community is very, very supportive. And it's wonderful to live in East Texas. It's wonderful to live in Henderson. And it's just amazing how many people's hearts go out to support people that are trying to help folks.
Does that surprise you, though, that sometimes that these city governments are being more helpful? I mean, I've tried some things in the past, and city councils and chambers of commerce and stuff, they shut me down in a hurry. I was like, man, this is tough.
Well, Mayor Henry Pace has a big, big heart to start with, and he sees that this ministry needs his love, and they are pouring into us. And the whole community has just shown us unbelievable love and support. And we're going to have 2 major facilities located here in Henderson, as well as what we've already got.
Yeah.
Very, very soon.
The growth of it here in Henderson is
It
pretty
is.
fascinating
It's
to watch.
significant.
Yeah. And I guess, and again, the fact that they were able to take over a hotel and put it to good use. That's fascinating into itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the one of the ladies' homes is an old nursing home, and one was a mission, and this other one's just an old house that's been restored. So we take lots of different things and turn it into something really, really special.
All right, so it's fascinating for you two because Jeff, the hotel was already taken over by Wiseman when you walked in.
That's right.
And smelled the food and all that good stuff. Beverly, you were on the board, have been for years. What were you thinking?
Okay,
when
I've
they
always
first-
thought I can do anything. I can get this done. And when Mother and Daddy, I took them down to show them what I was into, and they're like, honey, we have always believed in you, and you can do everything that you've set out to do, but I don't think you're ever going to turn this into a home. And I said, well, we'll see.
We talk about the lighthouse? Or-
Yes, the old, dilapidated nursing home.
But as a board member, what were your feelings when, hey, we have a chance to take over this hotel here? What? A hotel?
Oh, it's ideal. It's ideal because it has so many rooms, and they're individual rooms, and it's just, it really, it's just set up for the lifestyle we need.
I wonder, does anybody still drive into it and try and rent a room for the night?
I would not be surprised.
They would get some good food. We've had some great cooks at that
Oh,
site.
goodness. From a board member standpoint, anything else at all about Wiseman Ministries and where it's going that y'all want to? Well, now I think about it, let me ask another question. How many folks are on the board? And how do you get on the board?
I'm going to say there's around 10 people
That's
total
it.
on the
Okay.
board. And so I was asked because Tim saw the need for someone from each community that they serve in
Sure.
to be represented on the board.
Yes.
And so he'd asked me if I would serve. I said, absolutely. If I can help, I'll be glad to. And so Beverly, same for you.
The board is made up of people from many different walks and many different interest levels, and so together it's a wonderfully functioning body because with his engineering brain, and then we have an accountant on there, and then we have a business owner on there, and we just have people from lots of different walks, and when we all get together and put our ideas together, wonderful things happen.
Wow. And then do you find sometimes that you're having to, because Tim seems to be pretty laid back, so Tabitha's probably the one. Do you finally do you have to rein her in sometimes?
No,
And,
we let her go.
Yeah, no,
we
she-
encourage her.
This ministry needs every bit of her energy.
That's right. That's right.
All right,
We
very-
just sometimes have to find the funding and the resources to
That's
get
right.
it done.
Yeah, very good.
That's the challenging, but thank you guys for
Absolutely.
your support and getting the message out. This is a great way to do it.
Well, like I say, I've done a few PBS telethons over the years, the fundraising drives and that kind of. Never done anything like this, so this is different, but it's cool. Where do y'all see Wiseman Ministries going, or can it go wherever it wants to go?
Well, that'd be a lot of that's up to Tim and how much further direction that he wants to go. I can tell you this: his boat is loaded.
And what you're going to see, though, with our community support and with our city officials, with the Jacksonville Drive location,
Yes.
we're about to see the whole community have resources right there. An employment agency, social workers, food, resources for any kind of help or addiction that you might have. So it's going to be the Henderson communities give back to all walks of life will be there.
Okay, very good. Just out of curiosity, since I asked Chris this earlier and he had not been, Jeff, have you been to the Blackberry Farm?
I have.
Oh, you have been
sure
to the
yeah.
farm. Okay.
It's quite amazing. Matter of fact, I'm going to go out there tomorrow.
And we
Picking some, are you?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm on a tour of the facility there that's taking the wood chips
Yeah.
Yes.
and putting it into 3 different types of products that the guys are working on. I want to go take a tour of that facility.
Okay, so that's a little added facility incorporated with the farm out there?
Yes.
That's right.
yes.
It's
Okay.
an opportunity an income opportunity that they're taking advantage of to bag up these materials and to sell. So it's helping to support the ministry financially out there, what they're doing.
So Beverly, was the farm already in use when you came on the board? Or
Yes. The Wiseman was 20 years old the year that Sunshine turned 10 years old.
Okay.
So when that happened, that's the year we merged. And so Sunshine has benefited from the extra 10 years of foundational planning that we had not had. And so that's one of the reasons that we've loved being a part of this, is because they've gone before us in a lot of other ways. But yes, the farm is so amazing to see, where they live, how they work. And it is any one of these places that we take people for a tour, they come away with how they can help. They're either like, oh, y'all need a commercial freezer. Boom, we get it. Or you need someone to teach so-and-so. We get it. Whatever your interest or heart is, there's probably a place for you in this ministry.
Yeah. Tell us about, I briefly mentioned it earlier and really didn't delve off into it very much. Tell us about the coffee thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't just hang out in New London, I'm sure. Where does it go?
Well, we do events like Syrup Festival and those kinds of things, parades and that sort of thing. And then we do private events. We've done some like weddings and that kind of thing. And we've done a lot for the schools. So on Teacher Appreciation Day, we'll park on their campus and do all kinds of good things for those teachers. They get to have treats throughout that day. And we've done it at churches. We've set up on their parking lots. We've done it for the firemen and the policemen, all the first responders. We've set up for them and let them enjoy the treats.
At the Resurrection Run, they were there.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Resurrection Run.
Yeah.
But it's not out on the streets every day.
No, I wouldn't say every day. No.
Okay.
We don't have.
So it's not like a food truck or
No,
something.
and sometimes we'll set it up at the car wash in the summer, have wonderful, cool drinks and sodas for people, those Italian sodas and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
Hey, you make it hosted here in your parking lot.
Way over.
one day.
Well, we
That's
could.
right.
We could. We've sold steaks out here before, so we could do that. All right. So needless to say, another reason why you need to buy that card for the car wash.
That's
because
right.
you never know what's going to be there when you go in.
that's
Right?
exactly right.
All right. Very good. Beverly and Jeff, board members of Wiseman Ministries. Anything else at all that y'all want to really highlight that I failed to ask y'all about this morning?
I don't think so.
I think the highlight is just that we are here to serve, and we need others to come along beside us financially and in their time and talents.
Okay. Do you encourage other folks to, and again, I guess it kind of gets back to how you even get on the board, but do you encourage folks who want to be board members to look into it and figure out a way to be involved?
Well, absolutely. The first contact is going to be to get involved and see where your talents are.
Sure.
And many times it does rise to the board position, but you just don't. Everyone plugs in where they're best.
Yeah. Yeah. Or in Jeff's case, just go teach a class, and next thing you know, they'll be asking you to help out.
That's right. There's opportunities to mentor. There's so many guys down there that could use a mentor.
Yes.
So men in the community that would desire to mentor some guys, there's plenty of opportunities. Stop in at the hotel, let them know what your interest is. There's an application that you'd fill out to become a mentor, and they can pair you up with someone.
And our ladies need good mentors, and most especially roles in parenting skills and that kind of thing, to take someone under their wing and kind of teach them through how to handle children, how to handle issues with discipline, and just how to make a home.
So needless to say that these folks are going through a lot and putting the work in, but at the same time, you get a lot of satisfaction, I'm sure, out of teaching these classes and knowing that you got through to somebody in some way.
Helping in some way. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we plant seeds.
Everybody needs help, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good deal. I appreciate y'all coming in and
Thank you for
joining us here
having
this
us.
morning. Thank you. All right, so Beverly and Jeff are board members of Wiseman Ministries. It is our Wiseman Ministries Radio-thon here at KWRD. We continue on till, goodness, 12:30. Y'all coming back before 12:30? Or
We may be around. Who
all
knows?
right, going to hang around? All right, very good. We continue on till 12:30, taking your financial contributions. If you want to call those in, we're happy to do that. Got folks standing by, as they say. 903-655-1800 is our number. Non-perishable food items for the Henderson Food Bank. We're taking those as well.